All right, so we have some Andy Muschietti news here to finish off our stories for this Monday. Let's get into it here. Let me see what we got. Actually, you know what? As I said, I like the bigger version. What is it? There we go. The bigger version here. So, all right, let's move into this. Muschietti to direct space hostage film Drift. All right, let's see what we got here. Make this is a little bit bigger. All right. So, filmmaker Andy Muschietti, of course, we all know him from It and The Flash, is attached to direct the grounded sci-fi mission feature Drift, which Skydance won in a heated auction over the weekend. The film will be based on The film will be based on a 38-page unpublished short story by Ben Queen and Jason Shumanov, and was sold for around $2 million, a number that could go higher if it goes forward. Andy and Barbara Muschietti's Double Dream and Scott Glasgold's 1201 Films companies will produce the project, which is being dubbed Gravity Meets Arrival. Interesting. In the film, an astronaut vanishes during a space mission. His father, a once legendary, now fallen from grace shuttle commander, is pulled into a high-stakes hostage exchange in space to get his boy back from captors who are not from Earth. Oh, man, just that log line has Gerard Butler's name all over. Now, I know Andy Muschietti is probably going to get someone else, maybe Josh Brolin or somebody, to play this role, but damn, I could see Gerard Butler knocking this out of the park. Queen and Schumann will be adapting their own short story, which was on the market for less than 24 hours before it was sold. Numerous other bids were made, but Skydance won the day with Muschietti, who said to be emphatic about directing it. Andy Muschietti helmed 2 episodes of the upcoming Max series It, Welcome to Derry, and remains attached to the in-development live-action adaptation of the Attack on Titan franchise, which, of course, is the anime that is being turned into a live-action version. This feels a little bit like, what was it, Ad Astra, when Brad Pitt had to go find his dad who was stuck out in the middle of space somewhere, but so his father, a once legendary, now fallen from grace shuttle commander, is pulled into a high-stakes hostage. I mean, could Ben Affleck go back into space? That could be an interesting casting situation, have him be the dad. I mean, he's in the dad roles now. He's basically a dad now. So could that be a situation where you bring someone like him to go back into space like Armageddon to go get his boy back from captors who are not from this Earth? And that's interesting, too. Will this have a horror element to it? Because, of course, Muschietti loves to do horror. Although there were only some horror elements in Flash. It wasn't, obviously a full horror. It was the full horror here, but that could be fascinating too. Like, what are these aliens like? What is the situation? When you throw in Gravity Meets Arrival, Gravity, of course, with Sandra Bullock and George Clooney. And that situation was just about repairing a spaceship and trying to get back to Earth without dying, or shuttle rather, get back to Earth without dying. Arrival is completely something else, where those aliens arrive on Earth and are immediately greeted initially with skepticism and horror, and then eventually you realize what they're trying to do and what they're working towards. So it could be an interesting situation, but I like this possibility for Andy Muschietti because I think he's a fantastic director. I know The Flash aside, and The Flash, you could argue, is a lot of cooks in the kitchen making their own decisions about things, and a lot of decisions being made above Andy's head, and he's having to go along because it's a franchise situation. But this could be fascinating to see Andy back going a little more ground level. What is he going to create on the ground level with this version of?
All right, I've been talking a lot about going to the gym, and I go 4 days a week. I do it, but I've been looking for something really to make sure that I can do on the weekends because I feel like I'm in it now. I'm in it. I want to get a good workout in. So Hydro, I do it all at home on my schedule, and I do it in 20 minutes. Rowing on the Hydro, it gets me the full body workout, and I don't ever even have to leave the house. It's great. I just found out about it not too long ago. I said, let me check it out. I saw all these great reviews about it, and man, it is the way to go. It's a secret weapon for a full body workout. It hits like 86% of your muscles, arms, legs, core, all of it, and you knock it out again in 20 minutes. It's efficient, and it actually works. One thing that I really love about it, you don't get bored. Hydro's got tons of workouts with actual Olympians, and they're filmed in this gorgeous outdoor spots all over the world. It makes it way easier to stay motivated. If you're on the fence about it, there's a free shipping. It's a 30-day risk-free trial, and Hydro offers a full year warranty. Honestly, no pressure. You try it out, you see how it feels. So if you need to skip the gym, not the workout, you stay on track with Hydro. For a limited time, go to hydro.com and use the code Christian. You save up to $475 off your Hydro Pro Rower during Hydro's Memorial Day sale. That is HYDROW.com. Use the code Christian. That is Hydro, HYDROW.com. Code Christian to save up to $475. Hydro.com. Code Christian.
Of a sci-fi horror film out in space. And what's the overall point of the story that he's trying to tell in this? The son and the dad, what is he going for here? Is this going to be a massive budget film, or is this going to be more moderately budget like the creator was for, like, what was it, 80 million or 90 million, whatever the creator was that it was made for? Is that the angle they're going on? So, but look, Andy could use a hit. I know Welcome to Derry is coming, but that's a TV series. After The Flash, I think Andy could use a hit on screen, and maybe going back to his roots a little bit, going back to stuff that doesn't necessarily have this having to hit these franchise requirements, is the way that Andy kind of finds his way back into some more success and more offers coming down the pike for him as a director. So that could be fascinating to see as well. Yeah, see, I'm not saying he's in director's jail, but I know that, a lot of people with that Flash, they have feelings and whatever. And, Hollywood is a very fickle beast at Hollywood. So you just never know what he's going to, what his situation is right now. Yeah. Carrion says, so I guess The Brave and the Bold is not happening then. Well, I mean, I told you guys over a year ago that I had heard from my people inside Warner Brothers that Muschietti was off of Brave and the Bold, and that the reaction to Flash was a massive reason why. And so it would not, they haven't officially announced it, but they've all but said he's not going to be doing Brave and the Bold, no matter what your hardcore DC fanboys are going to try to claim. The fact that they've made it very clear that they are distancing themselves from Andy to it. And it's like, oh, we're going to run the script by Andy. That's all Hollywood speak for. We're moving away from Andy, but we'll make it seem as if he's still part of the process. And then Andy can come up with whatever excuse he wants in order to save face, so he doesn't have to do it. So he could be like, well, I looked at the script and it didn't seem to me to be the script that I wanted to do. And, this happens. Franchises change, their requirements of their characters change. So it's probably best for me to step aside and let another director do it. Don't be surprised if that's how it all goes down. And yes, I agree. I don't think Andy would be taking calls for other projects. I don't think Andy would be looking and trying to buy scripts. I don't think Andy would be looking to direct other movies if Brave and the Bold was on the horizon for him. So that's a great thing you bring up here. When you look at the situation here, Agarian, that it's clear he's not going to be coming back, and just reaffirms what I broke a year ago on the hot mic about, or over a year ago on the hot mic about Andy Muschietti being in the Brave and the Bold. He's not going to be directing it. He might get executive producer credit because he was on the project. He might get even co-writing credit, possibly, but I can't imagine that he will direct in the future. So we should start looking at it. But it's going to be curious because those rumors of Matt Reeves leaving the Batman Part 2 keep heating up. Yes, there have been pushback on the Production Weekly story. People saying, well, his name was never listed as a director in Production Weekly. And sure, that's certainly true. I think I don't subscribe to it, but a lot of people reaffirm that was true. But, these whenever there's smoke and a lot of scoopers are on a story, it's because there's fire, but they're not allowed to talk about it just yet because they want to keep contact. So they want to respect Matt's, whatever Matt's going through behind the scenes. But it certainly feels like the Batman Part 2 is moving towards either not going to happen or someone else will be directing it. And I wonder who that someone could be. Because I don't know. Because there's a lot of rumors, and Jeff has said this, and other people have said this, that James Gunn is working on a world's finest movie. So would it be possible that either James kills the Batman completely, or he directs the Batman Part 2, and then eventually we get a world's finest where it's Pattinson being brought into the overall universe of the DCU with Corn Sweat Superman? Right now there's a million possibilities. Honestly, there's a million possibilities. Either it doesn't happen at all and that universe is dead. We'll never see Colin Farrell as the Penguin again unless he's in the main DCU universe. And Robert Pattinson is either done being Batman or he is the Batman that is going to be a part of the DCU universe. There's also a possibility that a new director is brought in and that is still kept separate. So there's a lot of possibilities here that I think is going to be interesting. And I guarantee you, once we get to, if they ever get to a Crisis on Infinite Earths, if they ever get to that live action and are successful with it, there's still a possibility that we get a Lady Gaga Harley Quinn return and a Joaquin Phoenix Joker return. Don't rule it out. I don't think we've seen the last of it, of Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. Even though he died in, I don't die, but things happen in the movie, right? So the idea of him being Joker, I just was curious to see if they open that door to it overall. So